cards are cut. The odds are real. All you need is luck and nerves of steel on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
Hi, thank you very much. It's nice to see you. Welcome to Card Sharks. Thank you for joining us at home. You're terrific. And Mildred Grishar of Oshkosh, Wisconsin is also terrific for sending in that opening poem. Thank you, Mildred. Now let's open the board and get to the cards. Ladies, if you will, set up two brand new decks of cards. We're starting a new match with these Card Sharks. Allison McCall, our champion. Hello, Allison.
Hey.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you, too.
How is Pepperdine University?
It's great. I love it there. It's super.
You're even getting co-ed dances now at Pepperdine, huh?
Yeah, we have one this Saturday night.
That's terrific.
I'm so excited.
The times are changing. And you have $200 to spend that you won in the game. Didn't do so good in the money cards, but maybe get another crack at it.
I know, that's true.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're meeting our challenger for the first time, Jan Newcomb. Hi, Jan. Nice to meet
Jim.
you.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Won't you tell us about yourself?
I am Jan Newcomb from Ketchum, Idaho, which is about 1 mile from the world-famous ski resort Sun Valley, Idaho. Which, of course, now you would know that I'm a ski enthusiast.
Oh, that's a beautiful area, too.
It is gorgeous. I love tennis, and I also just recently started jogging. I've been married for 26 years, have 4 beautiful girls, and 2 fantastic son-in-laws.
You don't look like you've been married for 26 years. Nice to have you here with us, Jan.
Thank you.
Good luck to both of you, ladies. And the cards have been shuffled. The players cut them. Allison, the champion, plays the upper cards, the red cards. Jan, the challenger, the lower cards, the blue cards. Allison, we start the best 2 out of 3 match with a question to you. Allison, we asked 100 secretaries. Do you know something about your boss that could get him into trouble with the law? How many secretaries said yes, they did?
I would say that 65 secretaries know a lot about their bosses.
Enough to get him in trouble with the law,
Yeah,
huh?
definitely.
Jan, higher or lower?
Jim, I've been a secretary, and I really have not known that much about their personal life, and I'm going to say lower.
Lower.
Yes.
It is lower. You go to the board first, Jan. If not, it'll be Allison. And the actual number of secretaries who know something about their boss that could get him into trouble with the law is 16. Very much lower. Jan.
Oh, terrific.
Jan, you'll start off with a base card of a 10.
A 10. Jim, may I change that
You
card,
can
please?
indeed. You won the question. You have the right to change it. 2. A 2.
A good card. Higher, please.
Higher than a 2. Yes,
Good
for the queen.
card. Next card, lower.
Going to risk them both. Lower than a queen. It is a jack.
Oh, great. Next card, lower.
Lower than a jack. Oh, no, a king. And you lose all 3 cards back to the base card. Allison, that gives you a free chance to play a 5.
I say the next card's higher.
Higher than a 5. It is a 10.
Yes, I say, the next card is lower.
Lower than a 10.
The next card is higher.
Higher than a 4. Oh, no, a 3. And the same thing happens, losing all 3 cards. Janice will fill in the spaces. Neither player advanced through all of that. Jan, we asked 100 people. If President Carter called your home, collect, would you accept the charges?
I definitely...
How many people said they would not accept the charges from the President of the United States?
I mean, even to be able to speak to the president and for a collect phone call, oh, I'm sure that they would. So I'm going to say...
How many would not
I
accept the
know that
charges?
it's not. Would not. I'm going to say 15 would not.
15 would not accept the charges for the president.
I'll say it's just a little bit higher because I go along with Jam because anybody would be thrilled to get a call from the president. I know I would, even though I don't like Jimmy Carter. But, I mean, that's not beside the point. So I just say it's just a little bit higher.
I'm glad we did the show after the election, Allison. The actual number of people who would not accept a collect call from President Carter is 45. It's higher, Allison.
I'll change the card, please.
45? You want to change the 5?
Yes.
All right. Changing it to?
I'm saying the next card's higher.
Lower than an ace. It is a jack.
Okay, the next card's lower.
Lower than, she did say lower than the ace, did she not? Yes, I got to double check with our judge on that. Because Jan said she might have said higher. She couldn't say higher than an ace. Had to be lower.
I meant lower. I don't know if I probably said higher or not.
We accept that. You have a jack. You want to call this now or freeze it?
I'll say the next card is lower.
You're going to continue. Lower than a jack. It is an 8.
Yes, I'll freeze.
And freezing it there, we move the freeze bar over. Now we can't take those cards away from you. Allison, we polled 100 women who were beauty contestants in the Miss California Universe Beauty Pageant. And we asked them, have you ever fibbed a little about your measurements? How many beauty contestants admitted they've fibbed?
I'd say that 12 people did because everybody wants to be a little bit bigger, but I'd say that 12 people would admit it.
Well, they might have fibbed smaller, Allison. She says 12. Jan, higher or lower?
I really believe they'd be honest also, but gosh darn, if they're in a pageant and really want the chance to win, I think they would be higher. There would be more.
So you say higher. More of them. Got some agreement with the audience on that, and the actual number of beauty contestants who fibbed about their measurements is 74. Jan, very much higher. You got a 2.
Not so many honest women out there. Okay, next card is higher.
Higher than a 2. An ace.
Good card, Jim. The next card is lower.
Lower than an ace. A jack.
Good card. Next card, lower.
Gonna risk it again.
Come
Lower
on,
than a jack,
come
and this
on.
time she's right with a 6.
Freeze.
You'll
I
freeze.
freeze.
Jan needs 1 card. Allison needs 2. We're at sudden death. Someone has to win with this play of the cards. Jan, we asked 100 high school seniors across the country. Listen carefully. Which would you rather be? 10 years older or 10 years younger? How many high school seniors said they would rather be 10 years older?
Jim, I have a 17-year-old daughter that is a senior, and man, she wants to be older. And so the question is, how many seniors
How many would rather be 10 years older?
Older, 10 years older. I would say 53.
53 would rather be older by 10 years, Allison.
I'd say it's gosh darn. I'd say it's higher because I know when I was a senior that everything was happening older than me. 21. You just got to be 21
higher.
to do anything. So I'd say
21,
it's higher.
the magic year.
It sure is.
The actual number of high school seniors who would rather be 10 years older is 57. It's higher. Allison. Allison, you need 2 cards. Jan needs 1. You've got the control. Do you want to play it or pass it?
I'll change my card. I'll play it.
You're going to play it yourself. A big change then, changing the 6 to a jack.
No, Jim. No.
Oh, it's Allison. I beg your pardon. You're changing. Ooh, I put it in the wrong place. Thank you. Woo. Allison, you've got the jack. It's the same card. You gave it to from her deck.
Next card is lower.
Lower than a jack. And remember, one mistake and Jan wins it. It is a 10.
I'll say the next card is lower.
Lower than a 10 for the win. Yes! Allison wins it. Game 1 to the champion at $100. Challenger's got to make a comeback. We'll set up for that right after we take time out for this commercial break. Game 1 to the champion and $100, and the challenger needs this game as we set up with the same 2 decks of cards and a little rooting from the audience. Game 2, we start with a question to you, Allison. Allison, we asked 100 married women. Have you ever pretended to cry to get your own way with your husband? How many married women have faked crying in order to get their own way?
I had this boyfriend and I did it all the time. He thought he was really great. But anyway, I'd say that, 60 women.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was
it
Days
works.
of Our Lives, and now back to Card Shark. She says 60 have cried to get their way. Jan?
Jim, with me being married 26 years, well, I'm a pro at this. And I'm going to say higher.
Even higher than that?
Yes.
Well, the actual number of married women who've pretended to cry to get their own way with their husband is 23. Not higher. Allison? Allison, you're starting off with an ace.
Next card is lower.
Lower than an ace. A 4.
Next card's higher.
Higher than a 4. Yes, an ace.
Next card is lower.
Lower than an ace. It is a jack.
Next card is lower.
You're going to go for it for the win. She did it. Allison wins the championship again. Oh, my. Jan, thank you very much. You're a delight. Thank you, Jan. Jan Newcomb. Allison, come on down here. Your shoe broke? Well, we'll fix your shoe while we're watching this commercial message. I hope it's not a commercial for a shoe sponsor. And now the moving question, can Allison McCall make enough money to buy herself a new pair of shoes? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's open the board and get to the money cards. Come on, Allison. Allison, the money cards have been shuffled and cut, and Janice will start dealing them out, giving you $200 on the bottom line and these 3 cards to bet as you will. Move up to the second level. We give you another $200 of betting money, 3 more cards. Your minimum bets, remember, are $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet. There you must bet at least half the money. Now, the last time the money cards weren't too kind to you.
I know.
Okay, let's make up for it right now. Here's $200. As in the game, you have a choice of 2 base cards to start with. Remember, you can change them as you move up to each of the next 2 levels. You're starting now with, an ace.
I'll bet it all that it's lower.
$200 lower than an ace. Oh, no. Oh, my. Allison, these cards.
I can't believe
But you're
this.
not out of it, because up goes the ace. We give you the other $200 of betting money. 4 cards to go, Allison.
I bet it all that it's lower.
If we see a third ace, lower, $200. Yes, with a jack. All right, $400 and we're moving.
I'll bet it all that it's lower.
Oh, now, all of it lower than a jack. Yes, with a 10 for $800.
Okay. I'll bet 700 that it's lower.
Big bet, $700 that this is lower than a 10, and it is! Well, you've made up some ground quickly with $1,500. Up goes the 7. Do you want it? You want to change it?
I want to change it.
Big change with $1,500 in your pocket, changing it to a 4. Good card. You must bet at least $750. You can bet more. You have $1,500 and a 4.
I'll bet it all that it's higher.
If you can pull this off, it's a great comeback. Nothing or $3,000 higher than a 4. Yes! Great comeback. Come on down here. You can cry. Listen, that'd be the least physical thing you do, Alice. Well, now we know how Allison breaks her shoes. We'll be right back right after this. Okay, Allison, good luck in the next match as we deal out 2 brand new decks of cards and meet a new challenger on Card Sharks. Joe Aiello. Hello, Joe. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Joe Aiello. I live in Houston, Texas. I've got the greatest job in the whole world. I interview about 1,000 girls a week who want to be flight attendants for a major airline.
Well, that's terrific.
That's what I think.
What are the qualifications?
Well, I'm looking for somebody who just kind of reaches out and grabs you, figuratively.
Oh, I love your Snoopy playing tennis tie, too, Joe.
Thank you.
Was that just for the occasion, or?
No, about 20 pounds ago, I used to play a lot of tennis.
Oh, you look very good now. Good luck in the match, Joe.
Thank
You'll
you.
play the lower cards, the blue cards. Allison, the champion, the upper cards, the red cards. Allison, we asked 100 professional strippers. When you go to the doctor, are you embarrassed to take off your clothes? How many strippers said they're embarrassed?
I would think that if you're a stripper, you wouldn't be too shy. So I'd say 53 would say that they weren't shy.
53 would be embarrassed taking off their clothes in front of the doctor, Joe.
Say, was that how many people would be embarrassed?
This is 100 professional strippers. When they go to the doctor, are you embarrassed to take off your clothes? How many
No.
strippers said they're embarrassed?
No, they're not embarrassed to take off their clothes in front of 100 people. I think they'd make it in front of 1 person. I say less.
You say lower. The actual number of strippers who are embarrassed to take off their clothes when they go to the doctor is 32. It's lower, Joe. And
Give me a good one,
Joe,
Jim.
you're starting off with a big
All right,
ace.
lower.
Lower than the ace, a king.
Lower again.
Lower than a king. It is an 8.
Okay, we'll freeze, Jim.
Freezing at 3 diamonds there, Joe. You made a good cut of those cards. He's got a lead. Joe, We found 100 unmarried couples who are living together, and we asked the men, do you think the institution of marriage is dying? How many men said the institution of marriage is dying?
Ooh, I hate to admit this on TV, but I've been there. And you end up very often getting married. I think many of the people believe in marriage. I'll say it's going to be...
But how many say it's dying?
Say it's dying? 20 people.
20 men said the institution of marriage is dying. They're unmarried couples living together.
I say it's a little bit higher. A little bit more men say that it's dying.
It's living, huh?
Oh.
You say higher. Yes, okay.
Yes, I say it's higher.
Okay. The actual number of men who think the institution of marriage is dying is 39. You got it, Allison. Yes. Allison, you're starting off this game with a 5.
I'll change it.
Changing the 5 to a queen.
Okay, I'll say the next card is lower.
Lower than a queen. Yes, a 6.
I'll say the next card's higher.
Higher than a 6. It is a 9.
I'll freeze.
You'll freeze. We move over to the freeze bar. We've got a tie. Each player needs 2 cards for the first game of the match. Allison, we asked 110-year-old kids, when Superman was disguised as a reporter, what was his other name? How many 10-year-old kids knew Superman's other name was Clark Kent?
Oh. I'd say, can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. How many 10-year-old kids knew that Clark Kent was Superman's other name?
Oh, a lot of kids watch that show because I know when I was little, I used to watch Superman all the time. So I'd say that, just 50. I'll just go down the line.
50, right out the middle. 50 knew that Clark Kent was Superman.
Superman has been around for a long time. It's still on TV, cartoons, comic books. I'll say higher than 50.
Even higher than that.
Yeah.
I must say, a couple of kids who answered the poll said that Superman's other name was Clark Gable. But you say higher, Joe. The actual number of 10-year-old kids who knew Superman's other name was Clark Kent is 67. Joe, it's higher. Yes.
Dump that 8.
And you won the question. You have the right to change that 8 to... Oh, another 8.
Gee. Jim, we'll say lower than the 8.
Lower than the 8? He's right with a 3.
Higher than the 3.
Higher for the first game of the match. Yes, for the 4. Game 1 to the challenger, and $100 will set up for game 2. Quickly, Dennis, thank you. And Joe, you've got the first game, and we'll start game 2 as we left off with a question to you, Joe, as Janice deals out the cards. Joe, we asked 100 bachelors, have you ever told a woman a dirty joke and had her slap you? How many bachelors said yes, that's happened to them?
Boy, I bet almost all of them have told somebody a dirty joke, but not that many of them have been slapped. I would say 20.
20 men have been slapped for telling a dirty joke to a woman.
Well, I know if a guy told me a dirty joke, nowadays women can take it more. So I'd say that it's a little bit lower.
Lower than 20. The actual number of bachelors who've told a woman a dirty joke and been slapped is 11. It's lower. Allison. And in a game you need, Allison, you're starting off with a jack.
Okay, the next card's lower.
Lower than a jack. It is another jack. It is not lower. A break for the challenger, and Joe gets to play a 10.
Okay, we'll say lower than the 10.
Lower than a 10. It is an 8.
All right, now freeze.
Joe freezes with a 1-card advantage in the second game, and we'll take time out for a brief message of importance. Please watch.
Name and out.
Well, we've about run out of time. Joe, you interview girls for airlines.
Every chance I get.
Would you take Allison?
I'd take her in a second.
Yeah?
In a second.
How
that
would
much
you,
personality you can't turn.
How would
that
you
in.
like to go with a major airline as a stewardess?
I thought about it, but I don't know. I want to finish school right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll get you two
If
together
I ever
later.
want to go, I'll come to Texas.
And we'll get the two of them together to finish this match when next we meet on Card Sharks. Bye-bye for now. Have yourself a good day.
Attention, Carnival has just announced...
This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks. A Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.